So, imagine it is Monday morning. You are standing by the coffee machine at work, and you feel a little sleepy.
Yeah, that classic Monday feeling.
Exactly. And a coworker walks up to you, smiles, and asks the most common and maybe the most stressful question in the English language. They say, "How was your weekend?"
Oh, man. It is such a simple question, right?
Yeah.
But for a lot of people learning English, it feels like a surprise test.
Totally.
Your mind just goes blank. You think, do I need to tell them everything? Do I need perfect grammar? What if I literally did nothing at all?
Yeah, you suddenly feel like you need to give this huge formal presentation about your Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
But looking through the notes for our deep dive today, there is a big secret. You really do not need a long, complicated answer to start a great conversation. A simple, short phrase is completely fine.
It really is. I mean, people ask this question because they want to connect with you. They just want a friendly moment.
Yeah, they aren't asking for a detailed news report of your life.
Exactly. So you could just say, it was great, or, it was pretty good. You do not need to speak for 5 minutes straight.
I love that. It was pretty good. But honestly, I always think of this question like playing a game of catch.
Okay, a game of catch.
Yeah, imagine we are standing in a park playing with a baseball. When someone asks, "How was your weekend?" they are throwing the ball to you.
Right. And you have to catch it.
Yes. You catch the ball with your short answer. You say, "It was relaxing," or "It was fine. You caught the ball."
Awesome.
But here's the problem. If you just give your short answer and stop talking, you are just holding the ball. You are staring at the other person.
Oh, yeah. The game stops.
Right. It gets very quiet and it feels super awkward.
That is a terrible feeling. We all know that awkward silence. So to keep the game going, you cannot just hold the ball. You must throw it back.
Exactly.
And in a conversation, throwing the ball back means asking them a question.
So how do we throw it back? Because I definitely do not want to think of a complex question on a Monday morning.
You don't have to. You can use the most powerful, simple questions in English. Just say, "How about you?" Or, "What about you?"
Wait, that is it?
That is it. Just, "What about you?"
It really is that simple. It was great. How about you? Boom. The ball is flying right back into their hands. Now they have to do the talking.
And that is the true secret to a natural conversation. You answer simply, and then you ask them. It takes all the pressure off.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it shows you care about them, and it makes both people feel comfortable.
Okay, so we know how to start. We caught the ball, we threw it back, the game is moving, but what happens next?
Well, eventually they will throw it back to you.
Right, because after a minute, they're going to throw the ball to me again. Now I actually have to describe what I did.
Yes. Eventually, you do have to share some details.
And this is where I usually get stuck. I do not want to sound like a boring robot, you know?
Oh, I know what you mean.
I hear people say, "I slept, I ate food, I walked to the store, I went home." It sounds like a grocery list, not a story.
Yeah, a list of actions is definitely not a story. But if we look at how natural English speakers talk, they usually share just a few main activities.
Okay.
And really, most weekends fall into one of two categories. You usually have a quiet weekend, or you have a busy weekend.
I definitely know the quiet weekend. Honestly, that is my favorite kind of weekend.
Same here.
Sometimes I do absolutely nothing. I stay in my pajamas until noon. I drink 3 cups of coffee and just look out the window.
That sounds wonderful, honestly. And having a quiet weekend is completely normal. There are some very natural, everyday phrases you can use for this.
Like what?
You can simply say, "I didn't do much." Or you can say, "I just stayed home." Or, my personal favorite, you can say, "I took it easy."
Okay, I need to push back on this a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
If I look at my friendly coworker on Monday morning and say, "I didn't do much," does that make me sound lazy?
Not at all.
Because I feel like everybody is always running around, going to parties, climbing mountains. If I say, "I didn't do much," I worry I sound boring.
That is a very common worry. But you really do not need to feel that way. In modern culture, everyone is working hard all week. Having time to rest is a luxury.
That is true. We are all so tired.
Right. It is a good thing. When you say, "I didn't do much," the other person is usually jealous. They will probably say, "Oh, you are so lucky."
Oh, wow. That is a huge relief. So I don't need to invent a fake story about climbing a mountain.
No, please don't do that. Saying, "I didn't do much" is just a normal way to explain you stayed home and rested.
I love that.
And that other phrase, "I took it easy," is even better. It paints a picture. It means you're relaxed. You sat on the sofa. You avoided anything difficult or stressful.
I took it easy. It feels relaxing just saying those words. But let's look at the opposite situation.
The busy weekend.
Exactly. Sometimes I do not take it easy. Sometimes my weekend is crazy. I have to clean the apartment, buy groceries, fix my car, and see my family.
The classic busy weekend. We all have those too. So if your weekend was full of activities, how would you start the story without making that boring robot list?
Well, based on the notes we have today, I would start with a general statement. I would say, I had a really busy weekend, or I was out most of the day.
That is a perfect start. You give them the big picture first.
Right. And then, here is the trick to avoiding the boring list. You can combine your small activities to make one short, simple sentence.
Oh, wow, this.
Yeah, instead of saying, I went shopping, I finished shopping, I saw my friends, I can link them together. I could say, on Saturday, I went shopping, and then I met up with some friends.
Let's focus on that last part. You used a really great phrase there. You said, met up with.
Yes, I met up with some friends. Is that better than saying I had a meeting with friends?
Much better. I had a meeting. Sounds like business. Sounds like you and your friends sat in an office with computers and talked about money.
Yeah, we definitely did not do that.
Exactly. Met up with just means you went to a place to see your friends. Maybe a park, maybe a cafe. It is very casual, very natural. I met up with friends for coffee.
I like that a lot. I had a really busy weekend. I went shopping, and then I met up with some friends. It flows so smoothly.
It does. It gives just enough information. But even if you have a nice, smooth sentence about shopping or sleeping, it is still not a complete conversation.
No.
No, it is a little dry. To make the conversation truly interesting, people almost always add two specific details next.
Let me guess. Food and feelings.
You got it.
Yeah,
Food and the
yeah.
feelings. No matter where you go in the world, people love talking about what they ate and how they felt.
It is so true. Food is the ultimate connection. If you are ever standing with someone and you don't know what to talk about, just talk about dinner.
Always a safe topic.
Let's do a little practice right now to show how easy this is. I will start the conversation. Hey, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?
It was pretty good. I took it easy. But honestly, on Saturday night, I just ordered some food because I was too tired to cook.
Oh, I totally understand that feeling. Cooking on a Saturday can be the worst. What did you order?
I ordered some Thai food from that place down the street. It was incredibly spicy. My mouth was on fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How about you? Did you have a good weekend?
I did. I had a great weekend. I actually went to a nice restaurant in the city. I tried a new pizza place that just opened up near the park.
Oh, nice. I heard about that place. Was the food good?
It was amazing. The pizza was so fresh, and it had this really thick cheese.
Okay, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
But notice how naturally that conversation flowed.
Yeah, it really did.
We didn't talk about deep thoughts or complex ideas.
Yeah.
We talked about staying home, going out, and eating. And you asked me, what did you order?
It is the perfect follow-up question. If they mention food, you have to ask what they ate. What did you order? Or was the food good?
Yes. Everyone, everywhere wants to answer that question.
Definitely.
Food connects us. But the other thing that brings a conversation to life is sharing your feelings. When you tell someone how you felt, you invite them into your world.
Right. It makes it more personal.
Exactly. You are not just giving facts anymore. You are sharing your human experience.
So I shouldn't just say what I did. I should say how I felt doing it.
Yes. And you can use very simple words for this. You could say, I was really happy to see my brother, or I was so excited to go to the concert.
Or even, I was a little stressed because the shops were so crowded.
Exactly. Stressed is a very common one.
The weekend can definitely be stressful. Sometimes I feel like I need a second weekend just to recover from my real weekend.
That is so true. And that brings up a very important distinction we see a lot in English. People talk a lot about being tired after the weekend.
Right.
But there's a big difference between two common phrases saying, I was tired, and saying I was exhausted.
Oh, I use both of these. I feel like I say I am tired almost every single day. I wake up and I say, I am tired.
We all do. I am tired is a normal everyday feeling. It just means you need some rest. Maybe you worked for 8 hours, or maybe you went for a long walk. You feel a little heavy. You want to sit down.
Yeah.
That is tired. But I was exhausted is a much stronger feeling.
So, what if I wake up at 6 in the morning on a Sunday? Am I exhausted?
Probably not, unless you did not sleep at all the night before. If you say I was exhausted, it means you have zero energy left. It means you physically cannot do anything else.
I see. I always think of it like a mobile phone battery.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so tired is when your phone battery is yellow. It is at 20%. It still works, but you should probably plug it in soon.
That is a brilliant way to look at it.
And exhausted is when the phone battery is red. It is at 1%. The screen is going dark. If you don't find a bed right now, you're going to crash.
Yes, that is exactly what exhausted means. So you might say, I helped my friend move heavy furniture all day on Saturday. By the evening, I was completely exhausted.
That makes perfect sense. I will use exhausted for the 1% battery days.
Good plan.
Okay, so we have shared our activities. We have added lots of beautiful color to the conversation by talking about spicy Thai food, fresh pizza, and whether our battery was yellow or red.
You are building a great story.
But every really memorable weekend conversation usually focuses on one big moment. There's always a high point or a low point.
Yes. To make the other person really listen, you need to share the best part of your weekend. Or you need to share a little bit of drama when things went wrong.
Let's start with the good things. I like good news. If I want to talk about the absolute best moment of my weekend, how do I introduce that naturally?
You can use a very common, friendly phrase. Just say, I really enjoyed. This simply means you liked an activity a lot.
So instead of saying, I liked my family, which sounds a bit strange,
Yeah, a little weird.
I could say, I really enjoyed spending time with my family.
Exactly. It sounds warm and polite. Or you could just point out the highlight directly. You can say, the best part was going to the beach on Sunday morning.
The best part was, that is easy to remember.
Yet, both phrases, I really enjoyed, and the best part was, are clear and natural ways to highlight your favorite moment.
But as we all know, weekends are not always perfect. Sometimes the beach is not the best part. Sometimes things happen, drama happens.
And honestly, sharing a little bit of drama makes a fantastic story. People love hearing about small disasters.
They really do. Let me try to tell a mini story about a small disaster. I will try to use the simple vocabulary we have been talking about.
Okay, let's hear it.
Imagine we are at the coffee machine. You asked me how my weekend was.
I am listening.
So on Saturday morning, I woke up early. The sun was shining. I was so excited. I really wanted to go to the beach. I packed my bag, I got in the car, and I drove for an hour. But then dark clouds came.
Oh no, please don't tell me.
Yes. Unfortunately, it started raining. Heavy, cold rain. I didn't even get out of the car. So I changed my mind. I drove back to the city. My friend told me about a new cafe, so I went looking for it. I drove around for 30 minutes. I got completely lost.
That is so frustrating. I hate getting lost when I'm hungry.
It was awful. We finally found the street. We parked the car. We walked in the rain up to the door, and the restaurant was closed.
You are joking. After all that driving, were you angry? What did you do next?
We just sat in the car and ate some old crackers I found in my bag. It was terrible.
What a disaster of a day.
It really was. But I want to step out of the story for a second because the way you reacted to my drama is exactly how English conversations work.
Right. When someone tells you a story where things go wrong, you have to show them you were on their side.
You didn't just stand there and stare at me in silence. You said, oh no. You said, that is frustrating. You asked, were you angry?
Yeah, I wanted to know.
It made me feel like you really cared about my ruined Saturday.
Active listening is so important. And if you are the one telling that sad story about the rain and the closed cafe, there is a perfect, simple phrase to summarize the whole bad day.
What is it?
You can look at your friend, sigh, and say, it didn't go as planned.
It didn't go as planned. That is such a polite way to say my day was a complete disaster.
It is very polite and very common. It just means things did not happen the way you expected them to. You expected sunshine at the beach, you got rain.
Right.
You expected an open cafe, you found a locked door. Things did not go as planned.
I love that phrase. It is much better than complaining for 20 minutes. You just say, well, it didn't go as planned, and you can move on.
Exactly. And moving on is an important part of the conversation. So you have shared the highs, you shared the dramatic lows, you talk about your spicy food, your exhaustion. The weekend story is basically finished. Where does the conversation go now?
This is the critical moment. You don't want to just turn around and walk away from the coffee machine. That is weird.
Very weird.
You have to transition smoothly, and a natural conversation always moves in one direction at this point. It moves to the future.
That is right. The perfect, most friendly way to wrap up a conversation about the past weekend is to look ahead to the next weekend.
It is a signal. It says, we are almost done talking, but I still want to be friendly with you.
Exactly. And there are two very easy questions you can ask. You can say, what are you doing next weekend? Or you can ask, do you have any plans?
Let's show how this sounds. We are finishing our coffee. I look at you and say, well, after my crazy rainy weekend, I am hoping for better weather. What are you doing next weekend? Do you have any plans?
Honestly, I don't have any plans yet. I'm not sure yet. I think I will just take it easy. How about you?
Oh, I have a very clear plan. I'm going to visit my family on Saturday afternoon, and then on Sunday, I'm finally going to try that new restaurant. I made a reservation this time.
That sounds like a much better plan than last time.
It definitely is. But I want to talk about your answer. I had a big plan. I am visiting family. I am going to a restaurant.
Yeah.
But you had zero plans.
Yes. I said, I don't have any plans yet, and I'm not sure yet.
I feel like sometimes people learning English panic when they hear, do you have any plans? If they don't have a plan, they think they need to invent a big story. They think it sounds sad to have no plans.
You absolutely do not need to invent a story. Saying, I'm not sure yet, simply means you haven't decided. It is a very normal, completely natural answer.
That is good to hear.
In fact, many adults are thrilled when they have no plans. Have an empty weekend is a great feeling.
It is the best feeling, just waking up and deciding what to do in the moment. So it is totally okay to say, I have no plans. I'm not sure yet.
It is 100% okay.
Well, we have covered so much ground today. Let's look at the journey we took. We learned how to catch the ball with a short answer and throw it back by asking, how about you?
Yes.
We talked about the joy of a quiet weekend and doing nothing. We talked about busy weekends and meeting up with friends.
We added color with food and feelings. We explored the difference between a yellow battery being tired and a red battery being exhausted.
We talked about highlights and drama, the rain at the beach, and the days that just didn't go as planned. And finally, we looked to the future and the relief of having absolutely no plans.
You have all the tools now, but knowing the phrases is only half the battle. Now it is time to hand the microphone over to you, the listener. It is time for you to practice.
This is where it gets real.
I want to remind everyone listening that talking about simple, everyday topics like your hobbies, your food, your tired battery, and your weekends is the absolute best way to practice English.
It really is.
You do not need to talk about complex science or difficult news to be a good English speaker.
You really don't.
And most importantly, you do not need perfect English. You just need to start talking. Perfect is not the goal. Human connection is the goal.
I couldn't agree more. Connection over perfection. So we are going to challenge you to practice out loud right now, wherever you are, whether you're driving, doing the dishes, or walking in the park.
Imagine it is Monday morning. We are standing together. I am your friend. We are having a cup of coffee. I look at you, I smile, and I ask you, how was your weekend?
We want you to answer out loud. Take a moment. Think about what you actually did over the last few days. Who did you spend time with? Did you meet up with anyone?
What did you eat?
Were you tired or were you exhausted? And what was the best part? We are going to leave a few seconds of silence right now so you can answer out loud. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
Excellent. Even if you only said 2 sentences, you are doing it. You caught the ball. You are practicing real English.
Yes, great job. The more you do this out loud, the easier it gets on Monday morning.
We spent this whole deep dive learning how to perfectly answer the question about your weekend. We gave you the words and the phrases to tell your own colorful story. But I want to leave you with one final thought as we finish today.
What is that?
Remember that this is a game of catch. When you are the person who asks this question, when you throw the ball to someone else and you truly listen to their story, when you ask them if the pizza was good or you say, oh no, when they tell you about the rain, you aren't just practicing your English vocabulary anymore. You are doing something much more important. You are building a real friendship.
That is a beautiful way to think about it. Language is just the tool we use to build relationships.
Exactly. So my final question to you is this. Who will you ask tomorrow? Have a great day, everyone, and we will talk to you next time.